Hey guys, thanks for coming to the drill. I'm going to do the 10.5 metre extension ladder. I chose this drill as I believe it's a piece of equipment that we don't use a lot. It's quite rare to use it, and therefore our skills become laxed. So it's a tough piece of equipment that if you're going to need it, it's usually going to be in anger and it's going to be an emergency. You need to get it off the truck quickly and use it effectively and be comfortable using it and keeping your skills sharp. In case of injury, we have an EMT kit ready. We also have a phone to call an ambulance if needed, and we've let comms know for a possible delayed response. Drill is going to be broken down into two stages. The first stage is our whiteboard stage. We're going to be incorporating safety habits, what PPE to wear, parts of the ladder and the uses of the ladder, and a description of the drill that we'll be working on downstairs. And the second stage will be the practical side, so we're going to take the ladder off the truck, whip it up, take it down and put it back on the truck. First let's talk about safety. Always look up, especially when you're using a ladder, electrical hazards, trees, metal ladders and electrical wires do not go hand in hand very well. Communicate clearly between your crew. So when you're lifting, when you're extending the ladder, when you're climbing the ladder, especially when you're using a hose line, when you're descending the ladder, packing away, and any hazards you may come across, always communicate. It's very important. Always two-person lift, so never try and lift the ladder on your own, you're going to hurt your back and get damage. And a maximum of 2 people at any one time ascending the ladder. Make sure you've always got someone footing the ladder, so that's just feet on the safety anti-slip feet, and making sure that that's not going to slide out and cause someone to fall. Have a charged hose line ready. Actually, don't charge it until you go up the line, but have a charged hose line ready before you make any entry into a building that may be containing fire. At all times, you need to have 3 points of contact on the ladder. Whether it be 2 hands, 1 foot, 2 feet, 1 hand. You need to be touching 3 points at all times. And if you are using a hose, be cautious of jet reaction. So if you're going to turn on the hose, turn on the branch, make sure you don't do it too hard. That force can make you fall off the ladder and you get very hurt. The person at the foot of the ladder should also help you pull up the hose and guide the hose around. Of course, wearing PPE. So safety for us is wearing the correct PPE. At a minimum, firefighters must be wearing a duty wear, lightweight helmet, GP gloves. With helmet, make sure the visor's down. If you haven't got a visor, wear safety glasses. GP gloves and firefighting boots. And if it's in a fire situation, full structural uniform, and if it's an atmosphere that's dangerous, then BA must be worn. Here we've got a diagram of the parts of the ladder. So we've got 2 sections of the ladder. We've got your fixed length and your sliding length. Okay, so when you pull it off the truck, it's only 5 metres. When you extend, it's 10 metres. And that sliding length is what slides up. It's got 2 wheels, just like to help move it up the wall with these. And you've got your hauling line. This is what you pull to extend the ladder, and it's got a pulley here that helps the rope wind around. You've got your stringer and your rungs. Okay. You've got 2 safety handles here, which are actually pushed in. So when you need to use them, you need to pull them out. That means you've got something to hold on to when you're guiding the ladder back and forth and keeping it stable. You've got your pull release, so if you need to go up or bring the ladder down another level, you pull your release, and then you've got your pull up here, and that's what keeps the ladder in position. Velcro strap. When you've got the ladder, when you're going to be stowing it, you need to have the Velcro strap around, so it just prevents it from pulling apart. And you've got your anti-slip feet. Now you've got 2 of those. Make sure that they're flush with the ground at all times, and someone's standing on them. I think that's all of the positions. The ladder is stowed on the roof of the appliance. On a Varley, you need to climb up the ladder. Always look up. Climb up the ladder, have a helmet on, and there's a safety strap that you need to release. When your man on ground is ready, and you guide the ladder out, tilting it up so he or she can reach, and guide the ladder down to the ground safely. Whereas on the Scania, you can do all that from the rear of the appliance. There's no safety strap on spot. Practicing taking the ladder on and off the appliance is just as important as raising and lowering it, because if you need to get it up in anger, then you need to be quick and efficient. Everyone should know both roles, being firefighter 1, firefighter 2, and practice doing both roles so you can be efficient there. The ladder can be used for fire attack and or rescue and salvage work. The scenario for today's drill is going to be using the extension, taking the ladder off the appliance, and we're going to put it up in the yard, down in the back of the station, climb up, climb back down, and put the ladder back on the appliance. So if you choose who will be firefighter 1 and who will be firefighter 2, your role is, if you read through pages 5 and 6, each firefighter has its own role, and it's described in detail on that, so we'll have a little read through that before we get down to the practical. But just in brief, the ladder is going to be removed from the appliance with the correct lifting technique and clear communication. Carry the ladder in a suitcase, so just on the side, on the suitcase style, to the foot of the wall, to where you're going to be putting it up. Safely lift and underrun the ladder, using the handles as support and correct lifting technique, and using anti-slip devices. Lower the ladder to the wall, back to the wall, and raise to the required height. So that's when you're going to use your hauling line and engage using the pull. So make sure it's locked in place using the pull. Adjust the foot of the ladder to the required angle from the wall. So that's 1 to 4. So every 4 metres up, you want the base of the ladder 1 metre out, and then tie it off. Make sure the hauling line's out of the way. Once you've climbed it up, tie it off with a pocket line if you're able to tie it to something. Things to be aware of: communicate. I can't emphasise communication. It's such a big, awkward, heavy piece of equipment, especially when it's upright and you need to balance and get it against a wall and not break windows and hit trees and fall and everything. So the more you communicate, the smoother it's going to run. And follow your role. That way you know where you stand and you know what you need to do. Always extend the ladder 3 rungs above the ledge or the railing that you're going to be going in when you're going into the building or onto the building. That shows you've got a handle, so when you're climbing over, you've got a handle, something to load yourself onto, something to hold onto. As I mentioned before, the angle of the ladder is 4 to 1, so that's from the wall, every 4 metres in height, 1 metre out. Be aware of where you position the ladder. If it's a wide window, your access point is to place the ladder head in the opening and off to one side to allow maximum working space, so you've got enough room to climb in and climb out safely. If it's a narrow space, then place the ladder off to the side and then climb in. Always practicing caution, obviously. When climbing the ladder, so when you're going up, just look slightly up. And when you're coming down, look straight ahead, and therefore you shouldn't trip. Also, they taught us not to square gate at college when we're marching, but as you're climbing the ladder, you want left leg, left hand, right leg, right hand, simultaneously. Do not charge the hose line until you've fixed the ladder to the wall or the railing, the window or the railing, with your pocket line, and that your hose is secured as well. That's the stop pad. What was the word I used? Jet reaction. When you're retracting the ladder and restowing it, it all basically works in reverse. So you pull it down safely, communicate which way you're going, and run it back down, carry it correctly, and put it back in the appliance. It's all in detail in your recommended practice, which we will read through on the way down to the engine bay. Making sure, especially once you've packed it away, it's stowed, that you reconnect that safety strap on the Varley and that you've locked it in place with the scanner. You don't want the ladder coming off when you're driving away. Okay, the Sims is done monthly on a Friday. You do a visual inspection and a function test and a wash with mild soapy water, and then biannually, every 6 months you will do the same, but then you also lubricate it with a lanolin-based lubricant and then buff it off with a rag. That's basically it. Is there any questions? Is that all pretty clear? Yep. You understand all the parts, so when we go down and have a look. Now we're going to head downstairs for the practical. Please make sure you've got your correct PPE on. We're going to have lightweight helmets, GP gloves, because we have no fire involved, and duty wear and firefighting boots. That's it. Thanks guys. See you downstairs.